On September 1, 1918, during the last days of the Great War, the Canadian 38th Infantry Battalion arrived here at Ostrich Trench. Ostrich Trench had been captured by the Canadians from the Germans only the day before. These trenches dug into the ground were the only form of shelter, due to the flat featureless landscape of this part of France. By midday the Germans tried to recapture Ostrich Trench, but were repulsed in a fight, costing the Canadians a number of casualties. But the real battle was planned for the following morning. The 38th Battalion's objective was to spearhead through the German defense line that lies 2 kilometers to the east. This German defense line was known as the Drocourt-Quéant line, and called the backbone of the German resistance by the commander of the Canadian Corps, Lieutenant General Arthur Currie. The Drocourt-Quéant line was a fortified monster, with 8 battle-hardened divisions of German soldiers. It was covered with a maze of both front-end support trenches, concrete bunkers and hundreds of machine gun nests. Behind it were large batteries of German artillery. Attacking the Drocourt-Quéant line would become the hardest single battle of the war for the Canadian Corps. Scott Dickie, of the Canadian 38th, would be appointed Lance Corporal for the next day's battle. His battalion's combat operation was to break through the Drocourt-Quéant line between the village of Dury and the Arras-to-Cambrai road. They would be flanked by the Canadian 85th Battalion on the left and 72nd on the right. At 5 a.m., September 2nd, the battle began.
At dawn, the whole valley and hills around burst into a living hail of flame and hunks of shells.
With heavy artillery fire over their heads, the 38th advanced on foot towards the Drocourt-Quéant line from outposts in front of Ostrich Trench. They formed 2 lines of companies. As they encountered the enemy, they spread themselves out, engaging the position with their rifle grenades and machine guns. They continued this approach under heavy trench mortar fire, through deep fields of barbed wire and drifting clouds of irritant gas. By 8 a.m., the main trenches and a garrison of support trenches had been taken. But what lay ahead stopped them in their tracks. The 38th was hit hard by enemy field gun and machine gun fire that was coming from a sunken road, just beyond the Drocourt-Quéant line. Trapped on open ground, they had no option but to lie low in any shell hole or shallow ditch they could find. Casualties were mounting. For hours, field gun shells whistled over the Canadians' heads and German machine gun fire was relentless. There was little progress until 5 in the afternoon, when the flanking 72nd Battalion was able to slowly move themselves round the south end of the sunken road and drive the enemy back. This gave the 38th a chance to crawl forward, however their condition had been badly compromised. Scott Dickie suffered a gunshot wound through his right forearm. Of the battalion's 686 soldiers, there were 269 casualties. 59 were killed. Most are buried at the nearby Dury Mill Cemetery. The Canadian Corps, 100,000 strong, attacked at Arras on August 26, 1918, stormed successive German lines, and here on September 2, broke and turned the main German position on the Western Front and reached the Canal du Nord.